Good evening and welcome to State Senator Patty Ritchie's Golden Apple Awards for Teaching Excellence. We would like to begin by inviting Hunter Nerber of Phoenix High School to lead us in the Pledge of Allegiance.
If I could have everybody stand up, face the flag, please and thank you. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Thank you. You may be seated.
Thank you. We would now like to introduce Stephen Maynard of Pulaski High School, who will be singing the national anthem.
Oh, say, can you see by the dawn's early light what so proudly we hailed at the twilight's last gleaming, whose broad stripes and bright stars through the perilous fight o'er the ramparts we watched were so gallantly streaming, and the rocket's red glare, the bombs bursting in air, gave proof through the night that our flag was still there. Oh, say, does that star-spangled banner yet wave o'er the land of the free and the home of the brave?
Thank you, Stephen. Before we begin, on behalf of Senator Ritchie, I would like to extend a special thanks to the Kallet Theater, especially its owners Vince Lobdell Sr. and Vince Lobdell Jr., as well as Stephen York and the rest of the staff for allowing us to host our event tonight in this beautiful building. So a round of applause for all of them. Tonight, you will hear about the tremendous impact teachers have in the classroom. And who better to tell us about the life-changing roles that teachers play than a student? I'd now like to invite Riley Randall of Fitzhugh Park Elementary to tell us what his teacher has meant to him.
Hello, my name is Riley Randall, and I live in the city of Oswego in the state of New York. I'm a sixth grader at the Fitzhugh Park Elementary School and have been there since my first day of kindergarten. A while ago, my father informed me that Senator Patty Ritchie was holding another Golden Apple Award. Almost immediately, one of my favorite teachers of all time popped into my head. That teacher is my current English language arts teacher. My ELA teacher, short for English Language Arts, is Mrs. Hessig. Mrs. Hessig was coming to classrooms and helping with reading and spelling before she was teaching sixth grade. And there are many reasons as to why I think that Mrs. Hessig should win the Golden Apple Award. One reason that I believe that Mrs. Hessig should win the Golden Apple Award is that Mrs. Hessig speaks very nicely and calmly. Mrs. Hessig has not yet once yelled and always treats the worst situations in the nicest and best way possible. In her classroom, sometimes we have to read a couple of chapters of a certain book and work the next class based on those couple of chapters. If someone does not read those couple of chapters, she won't get mad or frustrated like most teachers would. Mrs. Hessig would just give that person some tips on how to do the work that she gave you, and after that, just say real nicely, "Can you read those chapters tonight?" Another reason that makes me believe that Mrs. Hessig should win the Golden Apple Award is that Mrs. Hessig is very funny and the class she teaches is very fun. It seems that no matter what, Mrs. Hessig will find a way to make the class fun. Whether we are writing on work on a piece of paper and then crumpling it to have a snowball fight, or just doing plain work, Mrs. Hessig will always make class fun. Another way that she makes class fun is a basketball hoop, and green ball at the back of her classroom. Mrs. Hessig has a rug at the front of her classroom. If during her class we are good and we do all our work well, Mrs. Hessig will pick certain people in a certain order, and we will shoot baskets in that order. She is also nice about shooting baskets too. Most teachers wouldn't let the class shoot baskets if a couple of people weren't doing what they were supposed to. With Mrs. Hessig, she would let the class shoot baskets, just not the couple of people who weren't doing what they were supposed to. My last reason that I think my ELA teacher, Mrs. Hessig, should win the Golden Apple Award is that Mrs. Hessig is one of those teachers who is friends with everybody and is liked by everybody. Mrs. Hessig is just a great teacher. So as you can see, I strongly believe that Mrs. Hessig should win the Golden Apple Award and have many reasons as to why I believe that.
Thank you, Riley. I'd now like to introduce State Senator Patty Ritchie.
That's going to be a little tough to follow, that act right there. I don't know. Good evening, everyone, and thank you for joining me tonight. As some of you may know, this is the second year I've been able to host my Golden Apple Awards event. In this short time period, it's become one of my favorite and most special events. Not only is it special to me, but my colleagues across New York have now started to hold this program in other places in New York State also. But I'm proud to say that it started here with some really special teachers. If we think back to our school years, we can all think of a teacher who made a real difference in our life. And while no one can take the place of a parent, a teacher can come close second place. Whether they are teaching their students how to read and write, or they're tackling life's bigger lessons like sharing and treating others with kindness. The impact that educators have on our lives and on those they teach can never be stated enough. Tonight, we honor 65 individuals who are doing remarkable things in our school throughout our region. I'd like to take a moment just to tell you a couple things about a couple of the people who are here tonight. There's a real hero among us who earlier this year put his students' safety in front of his own when he intervened when one of his students brought a loaded rifle into his classroom. Thanks to his quick thinking and bravery, today those students are safe. So, though I don't usually pull out one person in the middle, if Mr. Kuba is here, I think we should take a minute and say thank you. Another teacher being honored here tonight taught her students the very important lesson of helping others when she led her class in donating everything from canned foods to blankets to people who were recovering from Hurricane Irene. I'm pleased to tell you that this pre-K class collected more than 25 boxes of necessities, filling a van that took their donations all the way to Long Island. These and others honored today who aren't teachers, but they do so much in their schools and have such a tremendous impact on the students in so many significant ways. One individual has spent decades manning the school's office and providing students with the support and guidance they need to succeed. These are just some of the ways in which all of you, our educators, help to brighten the future of the young people in our region. For all you have done and all you will continue to do for those students, I would like to take a moment just to thank you. And, you know, I can take a minute to think back to some of those teachers who you know, after all these years, made such a huge impact on my life. And though the band director from my own school in Heuvelton, each and every time I see him, I tell him, when he used to call me on the phone 5 minutes before band practice and say, "Hey, you're not here. You signed up to go to band. You're not here. You got 5 minutes to get down here." And he taught me a pretty significant lesson that when you say you're going to do something, it's your obligation. You show up. And I know everyone in this room spends a lot of time preparing their lessons plans. School's out, they go home. They spend hours making sure that they're ready the next day for the classroom. You know, a lot of times people don't see that. And though you're here tonight, there's somebody out there that saw all that you've done for your classroom, and I just want to say thank you, and I'm glad that you could be with us here tonight.
Thank you, Senator. Now to recognize our honorees. I'd now like to ask Dylan and Gunnar Nerber of Phoenix Middle School and Phoenix Elementary to come forward to help the Senator pass out awards. Honorees, when your name is called, please come forward for a photo and to accept your award. First, we have Lisa Balls. Rebecca Ballard. Courtney Beloff Barker. Pamela Bice. Helen Bolin. Teresa Burley. John Canale.
Now, I should tell you that this gentleman is a veteran. Do you want to tell him what war you were in?
World War II and the Battle of the Bulge.
Linda Carney.
The kids are supposed to be part of the ceremony, so I'll let you give the pins out, okay? The most important part of the teachers.
Margaret Clemens. John Cole. Danielle Crisafulli. Edward Darr. Pamela Delfino. Toby Draper. Fred Ensworth. Amy Flynn. Craig Freitag. Andrea Gibbs. Christine Hessig. Bill Hansen. Sherry Hansen. Elena Hastings Gother. Renee Hendrickson. Christine Kassan. Julie Keeley. Lisa Keegan. Lynn Kellogg. Robert Kuba. Stacy Landrus.
He's trying to do his job there. So.
Arlene Lott. Shelley Lee. Tina Lewis. Carol Livingston. Jennifer Lyons. Suzanne McLean. Joni McCauley. Andrea Mason. Kylie Monroe. Lauren Morley. Sharon Murdoch.
So this woman worked in the main office for a number of years, and though I know there was a message on my answering machine that she wasn't a teacher, I think everyone that knows her knows that most of those kids wouldn't have made it through with their stuff in order and made it to their class and made it through if it wasn't for this woman. So she's a big part of our kids' education too.
Cindy Niles. Deborah Patterson. Jeanette Perry. Stephanie Plaisted. Simone Ponet. Margaret Pryor. Jennifer Putman. Deborah Reddick. Tracy Robertson. Cheryl Rogers. Gina Salerno. Lisa Sargent. Carol Sashia. Stacy Schaefer. Diana Shear. Paul Sornborger. Lisa Sparino. Paula Straub. Lynn Taylor. Diane Tedford. Kira Thurheimer. Tara Van Horn. Maria Van Pelt. Barbara Von Holtz. Sarah Wood. I'd now like to turn it back over to Senator Ritchie.
I gotta say, I'm a little nervous now with you two boys over there. I think one of them would be looking to take my job here, not to. No. Well, hardly a day goes by that I hear from teachers or families of teachers telling me all the extraordinary stuff that they do. And earlier I talked about the lesson plans after. And I know I heard from one mother that when her daughter gets paid a certain amount of her money, her paycheck is set aside every week so she could have supplies for her class. And those are the things that go unnoticed. And I know that all of you here know how our schools have struggled and have done stuff on your own to make sure that your kids succeed. So last year was the first year I was able to do it. So for all the wonderful teachers in here, I was able to secure a $500 grant for each one of you to use in your classroom this next school year that's coming up. And from time to time, I get some really remarkable letters about teachers and about their schools. And this past year, I got a letter from one of the students who was telling me about their wonderful band and how this year on 4th of July, they'll have the opportunity to go to Washington, D.C. And I think the principal and the superintendent from Pulaski is here today. So one of your students wrote me this wonderful letter about how proud they were of their band and how they were working really hard to make sure that they were going to have the resources in order to get to Washington. So you'll have to go back and tell your band that I was able to get them $5,000 to help the band go to Washington.
Thank you very much.
So you can tell all your students, even though I do get hundreds of letters at certain times of the year, I do make sure to read them all because they really are what make this job special, is to hear about the wonderful things that you do. And when it comes directly from the kids, that makes all the difference in the world. So I just want to say thank you for coming. Thank you for the wonderful job that all of you do. And I wish you the best success and your continuing years in making sure that our children have all that they need to succeed in life. Thank you for coming.
Thank you, Senator. This concludes tonight's ceremony. Before everyone heads out, I'd like to ask all our honorees to come forward. We'd like to get a few group photos by county, preferably, so we'll have Jefferson, St. Lawrence, and Oswego. And again, on behalf of Senator Ritchie, congratulations and thank you for joining us.